8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Program contains violent content which may be too intense for some. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I can't hear you.
You can now because I unmuted my microphone. What's up, YouTube? How you doing?
Oh my goodness. So, I asked you to come on to help me read comments because I have a migraine and I just slept for 6.5 hours. And I still can't read comments. Very well.
I see them all here. I see Jill, Melissa, Vid Inquiries, Cheryl, Carly, everybody here. What's up, everybody?
I want to say thank you, Carly, for the super sticker. And to Vid Inquiries. I appreciate it.
That's awesome.
So I thought tonight we would just have a fun night. We have something to celebrate in the true crime world.
Yeah? What's that?
Well, we had some convictions in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That were big. And you don't get those very often.
I know, it was big news. If you're talking about Lori Vallow?
Well, I'm talking about Letitia Stock first.
Okay.
With Gannon. Guilty on all charges. And then definitely Lori Vallow. Guilty of Kylie and JJ and Tammy. And then to hear she's indicted on Charles and her niece's husband.
Yeah. She's hit.
She's done. She's fried.
Yeah, it's over with. There's no coming back from that.
No. She is fried. And then today, I call it a win because you have Classic and Sincere West, known as Orrin and Orson.
Orrin and Orson.
That jury had a really hard decision to make, and I think they made the right one. So basically, they convicted both the mother and the father on several charges of, now correct me if I'm wrong, because this is hard, Orrin. Or was it Orson? So they had the 10-year-old brother come in to the trial and testify that he saw this boy dead and promised not to say anything.
Right.
And because of that testimony, the jury found both guilty for that boy.
Right.
But they didn't find them guilty. They were hung on Orrin, I believe. Because there really wasn't any evidence.
Yeah, they were hung on. I can't remember who exactly it was. Was it Orrin? It might have been. Okay, it was 8-4 and 10-2 guilty on a murder charge. Okay, so that would have been, the next one. So I'm actually copying that and pasting it into the private chat. Exactly what they said there. So there it is. Right
While we technically didn't get justice for both boys, we did. Because these people are never, ever going to get out of jail.
Yep.
The only thing we can hope
and
is
they said that they died 3 months before.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that 10-year-old
So that means
they never made it to Cal City.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
Right.
You know, I mean, to think about it, because they reported him missing like it just happened. Like, oh, they just disappeared out of the yard.
Right.
And that's not what happened.
And then to find out they weren't even there?
Yeah. That's pretty gutsy on their behalf. On why would they even report him missing is what I wonder. Something had to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, eventually somebody was going to ask.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, someone probably already had, or insinuated that they were curious as to what was going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they threw the 2 counts for him out. It ended up being a mistrial. The prosecutor has the option to retry those 2 counts for him.
Right.
Maybe if they find the bodies and they get a slam dunk.
Yeah.
And they can prove that he is gone, then they'll redo it. But why put the taxpayers through that more money when we got a victory, because they're never ever going to get out of jail?
Exactly. They're basically, you win. Yep.
Right. And like I said, we don't get that very much, and to have 3 cases back to back
solved real fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a good thing, especially when you see him finally get resolved. It's like, about time,
Right.
These things are a long time in the process.
I was in Duty Run's live stream when they were telling us what the verdict was, and I thought he was going to pass out. He was nervous, and every time they said guilty, he's like, yes! I think we all were, because we were so worried. Oh. But it was cool to be in that community. I love his show, and he's got a great chat.
That's cool. I don't think I've ever been over there in there. I don't think I have. No, I don't think I've ever been in there. Maybe I have. He's
an ex-police officer too, so I like to listen to a lot of people and get different views, Then I can put it together for myself.
Yep. Where's your layout on here?
Oh, hang on. Oh God. It's hard to see.
There
we go.
See, you just need to set your camera down.
I got it.
There you go. Cool. This is neat. All right. So let's see. As far as comments go, I can't pull them up on the screen.
Here, I'll pull them up and you read them.
Okay. So Cheryl says, as long as it's life, never get out, not 10 or 12 in real life. Right.
Yeah,
I get it. Lots of places
going to be
life. It's not.
with the charges that they got, it's gonna be life without parole.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna get out.
Oh, look, I'm Carla.
You're Carla.
I thought I sent a different one. Did I send you a different one? Maybe. Who knows?
You might have. I might have forgot to upload it. That's okay. You can be Carla tonight.
Today I'm Carla, everybody.
Go put on a blonde wig.
Yeah.
We're here to have some fun.
So what did you think about the Klein stuff yesterday?
Oh, I wasn't actually surprised.
Yeah, it's not surprising. It's just like more and then today his attorney filed the withdrawal.
What?
That's going to reset the whole case. Yep.
He's not going to plead.
No, his attorney's withdrawing his appearance. So
like,
Andrew
not
Aki is going to
be
withdraw.
His attorney anymore.
Correct. And then when they get a new attorney, they start the case all over again.
Like oh my God.
Yep. Yep, that's what happens. So that's what I'm going to go live at 9:00 for and talk about that. That's what it lists on my case. So withdraw an appearance. I tried to call Andrew Aki, but I didn't get an answer. So I got a hold of his.
He does not want to go to prison.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to prison. He's delaying his time, but he's going to end up going anyway. So I don't know why he's pushing it off.
I know. Oh, wow. That's news. I did not hear that the attorney for Keegan Klein is withdrawing his services and is no longer going to be his attorney.
Yep.
So basically, we start all over at step one.
Yep. Start all over. The new attorney is going to have months to review the evidence, go over everything with his client, try to strike a deal, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think they're going to strike a deal with him.
I don't either. I think he's just going to have to get what he gets. It's just going to be a long time waiting.
Yeah.
You know, I think the judge is going to get tired of the continuances. I think the judge is going to be like, look, you've had plenty of time to review these documents now. To the new attorney, you know, give you this much time to look it over and come up with a decision. That's it.
Yeah.
Trial or guilty. One of the two.
Exactly.
So now he's guaranteed his withdrawal of guilty plea will come. Because his new attorney is going to do that. Withdraw the guilty plea immediately and say, we're going to start over.
Yep. Oh, God.
I know. It's like, man, that's going to be a long time. Because I know how trials can go, man. These things can take 2 years. It's been 3 since he's been locked up.
You're looking at almost another year.
Yeah, at least, probably. Yep.
Well, yeah, he'll stay in jail, but he's going to be in this cushy little jail, not prison, where he belongs for another year.
Not hanging out with Richard Allen.
Oh, yes. Keegan, well, we don't know if he fired his attorney or if his attorney had enough of his BS and said, I'm out of here.
Yeah, because you can't fire an attorney. You can't fire a public defender. The court is going to tell you get screwed. Basically, they're going to say you can't do that. We appointed it, and that you're just going to have to take what you get. If you want an attorney, hire one.
Right.
So
they can only the attorney asked.
The attorney asked. Yep.
Yeah.
Or there's some big conflict. They got into an argument yesterday, and it cussed him out, and there's a conflict of interest now. Something like that. You never know.
Wow.
What's up, DD?
I'm not surprised. This and Delphi are just a never-ending thing.
It is never ending.
It's gonna keep going and going and going, and I swear to God, sometimes I think we're never gonna get justice in both of these cases.
I've waited 6+ years, and then 3 more years on top of finding out the Klein stuff.
Right?
Jeez, that's been crazy to even think about that. Like, it's been such a long, grueling process in the Delphi case. That is extensive,
Yes.
Like, I don't think I put a lot of time into that, over the years, and like that's probably the one I put the most time in. But it's like, man, dude, every time you feel like you're right there at that peak point, some weird stuff happens in that case.
Oh, and throws everything you thought out the window.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, okay, I thought was right. Now I'm wrong, and I'm over here now. But then this is going to flip flop, and now it's going to be a combination of both these things. It's just odd, you know. So I'm glad that at least you're talking about other cases and keeping updated with other cases, because these other cases need attention too, you know, not just Delphi.
Well, it's funny that you're Carla today because I talked to her.
Okay. That, hi, Carla, if you're watching.
told her that I wanted her to come back on, and she felt so bad that her phone wasn't working. And I said, don't worry about it. It happens all the time, technical difficulties, you know?
Yeah.
I said, so don't worry about it. We'll have you on again, and we'll have a good conversation. And she was happy to hear that.
Good. Good. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. She needs some help.
It's odd. I don't understand what's going on with that case. Why there's nothing in that? Like, it seems like they got a person of interest, you know?
Read this comment for me. I can tell this.
Okay, so Andrea Delp says, Marv likes to see how much she can flood my brain and cause me to not sleep.
So last night, I flooded Andrea with a bunch of emails. And I'm like, here's everything I have on Flora. Here's a video. Here's all kinds of stuff. Read through this and see what you can find out. So she was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning reading through this stuff.
Jeez.
Oh.
I was watching your stream yesterday on Flora, you know, what you were talking about and stuff, and about, you know, how you're going to come across people in this case that there's corruption.
Yeah.
There's racism. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on with the authority figures in the case, you know?
Right.
And that's the weird part, you know, in Flora, is that's mainly the whole reason it got to be as big as it was because of the corruption and the lies by law enforcement officials.
Exactly.
You know, and then the quitting of jobs and disappearing and not wanting to answer any kind of questions opens it up to, what are you hiding here? You know what I mean? Like, what are you hiding? Why do you have to lie on something so simple? You know, there's a reason for a lie in those cases. So Vinfrey says that, that those poor girls, you know?
Yeah.
Which it is sad.
It is. And
that's that case.
Actually, we got some really good information on Flora that I didn't even know I had.
What about it?
You'd have to ask Andrea. She's read it all, pretty much.
Okay.
But I'm looking for some more documents. I've asked around for some more official documents on Flora. And there's some things that we want to check out.
Okay.
And then once we check them out, we'll fill you all in. But, well, Andrea's got experience in firefighting. Her two sons are firefighters. Her father was a firefighter and an arson investigator.
Okay.
So she can look at things in those documents and explain things to me. And say, well, what about this? What about that? You know, and well, this could have happened. So it's neat to see her perspective. And like
I'm curious to ask her a question, Andrea. So let me ask you a question, Andrea. So we have a person, Dennis Randall, if you're familiar with him at all, who is the fire investigator, for the case. Now, is he qualified to be a fire investigator because of these reasons? Dennis Randall was a volunteer firefighter, for a while in Delphi. He was law enforcement sheriff. He was the sheriff of Carroll County for 8 years, mainly throughout the 90s, early 2000s, until his term was up. Amidst of all the corruption, he retires. Is that an individual that's qualified to be a fire marshal just because they volunteer firefighted for a few years and was the sheriff of a county? You'd think that you'd have to have more fire qualifications than that to be a fire investigator for the state. Is that something that's typical? Can anybody do that? Could I just go do that?
Oh, that's going to be a good question. I can't wait to see your response on that one.
Yeah, because it's kind of like you could run for a position, or become a position, and you really don't have to have any kind of experience in it other than, I was a cop, I was the sheriff,
Right.
Cool. Congratulations, you're now the fire marshal and you know everything about fire. So just curious on how that would be. To be an arson investigator, you have to take arson investigation classes and be licensed by the state. Okay, so you get a license to do that. Okay.
So he can't just say he's the arson investigator because he's been sheriff for 8 years. He's got to take the classes and get licensed.
Okay. All right. So he had to get some sort of license to do that. So he did have some knowledge of what he was doing, just no physical experience. Okay.
Could be.
Right. And his son was the fire chief. Would that be typical for a fire arson investigator to investigate a department where his son is the chief and in a county where he was the sheriff? Seems kind of like a conflict.
Yeah, you would think that would be conflict of interest.
Okay. Her dad worked for the state fire marshal's office, is what she said.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that because he's my center focus on the whole thing. Is one lie started it all, and I'm just curious as to why that lie happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dennis Randall's a real piece of work, man. Anybody that does a deep dive into that dude, I got a whole page dedicated to him called Dennis Randall Exposed. You can read all about the stuff that he's done. It's on Facebook somewhere.
Andrew,
I think it would be a conflict. I did too. I thought it would be a conflict of interest for him to be able to work on that case specifically. Maybe that's where they need to start, I think.
So did you get to see the Ron Logan documents that came out this week?
No, what's that?
I have them, but I haven't had a chance to see them.
Ron Logan documents. What's going on with that? He's dead. Why is everybody?
I don't know. I'll have to look at them and do a live on them. I don't know exactly what they are. I don't think anything exploding has come out on them. Yeah.
I mean, unless they come out and say Ron Logan's the Delphi killer, I wouldn't give too much credence into any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he was.
What did you think of the documentary that Fig put out?
I didn't even watch it.
You didn't?
You talking about the Lifetime documentary? No, I was a part of all the making of getting all that stuff. So I was picked to be on that team of people to be interviewed and a part of that as a collaboration deal thing with Hannah and all those people. And Michael Catt was there, and he almost got into a fight with Doug Rice. And it was just like, I knew all about that the whole time. I just never thought it was going to be released because they decided not to release it on Lifetime. Andrea said that video was released that broke down the body cam footage. I can answer and argue that dude's accusations and questions and blow him away.
Do you know who I had her watch?
Who?
Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis. Crime Night.
Well, he actually did one of the best videos on the breakdown of that dash cam. Gave times and everything. So I sent it to her. I said, no, this guy's a jerk, but watch this. And oh my God, it was so funny.
You know what? It is kind of funny because ironically, people make a lot of videos about me, right? And critique me and stuff. And I'm used to it. But Joe Lewis made the best video that I've ever seen anybody make about me. So it's like, good job, dude. I give you a round of applause on that, Joe.
I know. It's weird.
He is good at making the videos.
No, I like this. All I can see is nothing.
He tries.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So okay.
What?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, tell everybody a little bit about how you even got into doing your channel and like the true crime and stuff like that from like a few years ago till now.
Oh my God.
What happened? Like you started following the Delphi case right after the press, right after. it was that year, wasn't it? 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you guys remember, I saw your video and I started watching your lives. And I'm like, oh my God, this case is amazing. In February, all of a sudden, I was in Indiana in the cold, freezing for the memorial walk. And, this channel started out as Marvelous Investigates with me and my son. And then Frank came along. It was True Crime with Marv and Frank Unsolved Squad or something like that. And the name was way too long. So we changed it to True Crime with Marv and Frank. And now it's True Crime with Marv.
Yep.
So it all started. Yeah.
She said that we all met in May. We did meet in May.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that. We did. It was another walk, actually. You were there again.
Yeah.
That summer.
Yeah, because you remember I was like, I'm not going to make it to this one. And all of a sudden,
you were there.
Texted everybody and I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah, she's like, I'm here. Like, and I'm like, where? Like, here. I'm here in Lafayette. I'm in Delphi. It's like, what? I thought you weren't coming,
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, we're going to clean up the memorial site.
Yeah.
Right. You remember that? And so it's like pulling a wagon down the trail, and the trail was not paved at all.
No.
So it's like bumpy and rocky, and they're still kind of working on parts of it. So you got like these big dips in some areas.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember cleaning up that memorial site, and that was like such a cool thing to do.
You remember the snake?
The snake. Oh, man. Oh, God.
You do not like snakes.
No, I don't like snakes. I'm out of there. There's a snake. I am gone, man. Yeah.
And what do? I just take a stick and I fling it into the woods.
Yeah. Make sure that snake stays over there.
And he's like screaming. I'm like, it's way over there. It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah. Yep. And then Vid Inquiry, she had a video that she had showed me where she had went to the other bridge and was like, you're going to go, like, it was to the bridge guy.
Yes.
For him to see when he went out there, and it was like, you're gonna, I don't know, burn in hell on your way down that hill or something like that. I remember it was a cool. She put a sign up there. I remember that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The terrified snakes. I am too.
Yeah, and I didn't make it across the bridge at any time at that point. I only made it to remember the first time I was on that bridge, I made it to the first platform and I sat there for about a half an hour. I couldn't even make it back to the end where I'm like, I can't do this. And you're like, phew, phew. And I'm like, whatever.
Just right across it. It's not as bad once you get across it, because then it's safe.
Ange goes right across it. She didn't care. And oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. I remember that. There was a lot of people there at those days, and a lot of people were curious about learning and understanding the crime. And it was like Randy was trying to explain, hey, look, this point of the trail, this is where we're at. We're going to start here. We did a round table discussion type thing in the Freedom Bridge Plaza, and it's like, okay, my name is Anthony and I'm a YouTuber, and this is how long I've been following the case, who I am. She would say who she is, her sister, her son.
Do you remember when I said my name, Marvelous Marvin, and Bob came and shook my hand and he goes, oh my God, you're a woman?
You're a woman. I thought you were a guy interested in boxing.
Everybody thought I was a guy. Everybody on YouTube thought I was a guy. I'm like, nope, I'm me.
I know. It's weird because you just see names of people and you just assume this is a type of person, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. You live in southern Indiana, down by Vincennes. That's awesome.
I don't know where that is.
It's just southern Indiana. It's south of Indianapolis.
Dude, I remember that. Yeah. But every time we've gone to the trail, I mean, we meet wonderful people. The last time we went, there was a couple of women that weren't even there for the walk. Mm-hmm. And we passed them on the trail and they had to ask me, what are you doing? They thought this was like a Bible camp, I think. And I'm like, oh no, we're here on a memorial walk for the girls. And they're like, oh, that is so cool, And she goes, what do you do? And I said, well, we walk and we talk and we tell people, that have been here for the first time, point things out and everything. And they're like, can we join you? And we're like, yeah, go ahead. And they ended up walking down to the site where the girls were found and everything with us.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
they're totally into it. Like, we're gonna work for the whole tour, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's neat. That I had the privilege of. There's a couple different people that have come from out of state. A couple came from Ohio. Well, a couple sisters came from Ohio with their daughters, or with the daughter and her friend, a couple years ago, and asked if I would go out to the bridge with them and show them around Delphi and kind of just almost like a tour of everything that's significant in this case. Where is this church that they held the press conferences at? Where's the jail? Where's this? Where's that? Right. And we went and did it. And it was a really great time. They had the privilege of meeting Mike, Becky, Patty, Derek, the Erskines at the Memorial Park. That was a good thing. They were from Ohio. And then I just did it again with Barbara Spicer and her husband.
Okay.
Joe. And they actually came just a couple weeks ago, and we went out to the trail and we're looking around, and he brought a drone and we were flying the drone around to get some footage and stuff. Really good time. But they were very interested in the canal park.
Yeah.
The height of the trails. That's where they held a press conference.
Yep.
To go into CVS, talk to people. We also met up with Mike and Becky and got some shirts from them. It was good to see Mike and Becky,
Yeah.
It had been a while for me before I seen them, and it was the first time I'd actually spoken to them since the arrest of Richard Allen, and I could tell that it's a brighter light that shines there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the last walk, Becky, Cody, and his wife were all there, and she actually went on the walk with us.
That's good.
So it was, and then I finally got to see the ballpark.
Nice.
Made my way over there, and I couldn't find the bricks. I didn't know where the bricks were, and
they're around the stage.
Right, but I saw Mike, and I'm like, Mike, sorry to interrupt, but where are the bricks? And he's like, oh, over there, and just told him I was from Wisconsin, and I thought this place was beautiful, and that it was a great legacy for the girls, and so I talked to him for a quick minute, and I did get to go by Wilson's Bridge. I went over Wilson's Bridge.
Oh, nice.
I didn't get out and look around as much as I wanted to, so my next trip there, I definitely want to do that.
It's a cool little area. That's a historic bridge too.
Yeah.
What's really cool is I was there one time, and I was parked right there, and I was just looking at the bridge and just getting a cool shot of it, and it was kind of snowy out, right? So you could see some snow on the bridge and stuff. And a horse and buggy, came down and went across that thing. And the look of that in the snow with the black horse and the black carriage and stuff, to take a picture going across that bridge, that would have been really cool. I was trying to get my camera out and I couldn't get it out in time. It's not like I could say, hey, can you back up and do that again? Because he has the horse there, but it was really cool shot. That's a nice old place. And that's actually the direction that the bridge guy would have come from.
Right.
It says, I think Marv's son walked on the bridge.
He did. He didn't go all the way across it, but
you get to be on national news.
We did, because after everybody left, we were going to go and meet up at Golden Corral.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just say, before everybody got there, Randy and I were there early, and a news crew came, and we actually walked them down to the bridge and showed them things, and they got to take footage and everything, so that was cool. And then we were getting ready. I was getting ready to leave, and I was taking Stacy and Joe with me, and all of a sudden this news crew wants to interview us. So I'm like, get up here, Stacy, and they interviewed both of us, and we were actually on News Nation.
Oh, that is neat. News Nation. Yeah. Okay, I watch News Nation. Yeah, there you go.
So everybody's like, you're famous. I'm like, not really. It was like 15 seconds. We're good.
Yeah.
But it was neat getting to discuss, I mean, they asked several questions and then they just picked what went with their storyline.
Exactly.
But it was
Yeah,
neat how that was done, because I did remember what the questions were.
Yeah. Are you coming here for the hearing? Okay. Why, Marv, did you ever go to Flora?
I drove past Flora.
Okay.
I did not actually go into Flora. So I am coming
June?
I am leaving here June 29th after work. And I'm going to drive half the night. And so Friday the 30th, I will be in Tipton with Mark.
Gotcha.
July 1st, I will be in Delphi for the walk. And then actually July 2nd, we are going to be back in Tipton at the park.
Okay. And what's going on then?
We are going to try to get some people to come together and give information about Tabitha.
Okay.
Cases that Jay Rich has messed up on.
Should have a press conference.
Well, it's pretty much, we're going to try it.
Oh, we can. Trust me. You want me to contact more media? I can be like, hey, listen, you need to show up to this. All we got to do is send out a press release saying that this event is going to be happening and we want the media to be there. If they're free, they'll come.
Yeah, Mark started putting a little press release out on all the sites.
Okay.
And, we put it out now, but we know it's a ways away. So once it gets closer, we're going to flood social media. So, yeah, I will let you know so you can help let the media know.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely let them know. I'll send it out right to all of them. I got all their emails saved. I send them something like that. That way there's a lot of exposure. I think they would be interested in that. It's been so long. I mean,
yes.
Just because, and people that don't understand this case, this is a case where it's hard to find answers because there have already been people arrested and tried in the case and found not guilty, and then charges were dismissed on other people, and then some people narked to get out of trouble in the first place and didn't even have to testify because the charges were dismissed. So it was like,
yep,
it's weird. It's just an interesting case. And if you haven't seen the videos, she's got them on this channel here, and Mark is her stepdad, who's no longer with her mother, but is
he
there
loved,
for
he loved both. He loves both of them, and he's never going to give up. He's never going to give up.
Yeah, and I've had the privilege of speaking to Mark. I met Mark in Kokomo, and he came to the event that we did, and like, he's a good guy. I still talk to him to this day. He's a really good guy. He came out to support Michael Coates and Ashley. Went to the bowling thing. Him and I were a bowling team. Good dude, man. Good to see you out there, Mark, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
he's a really
one of the things that I need to do is on Friday, I'm going to go cause a little chaos at the courthouse. So we were told that the case was closed after Kyle Neff's plea agreement.
Okay.
But more recently, we were told that a FOIA request was denied in 2015 because the case was still open. So which is it?
Well, put another FOIA request in, see if they give you information, what kind of excuse they make.
Yeah, I've got a couple FOIA requests that I'm going to put in. But I think it's going to take going down there and demanding answers, too.
Yeah, it is. Show up and remember, it's kind of like Kokomo happened.
Yes.
Almost identical. That's the kind of stuff that it takes.
Yeah.
True Crime Housewife says, Anthony, have you been to the Monon since they worked on the bridge? Yes, I have, actually. I got drone footage of that. I've got footage of the area that I'm putting together for this whole probable cause reenactment thing that I'm doing. And I may have to do some of it digitally, but yes, I have been there. It's not the same to me. It's different.
It's not.
No, it's not. You don't get the feeling that you had once. It's not the part of that. I think that the whole thing for me with that place is that was such a historic looking old rustic bridge, and that was the beauty behind the area. You got this big bridge in the middle of nowhere,
right?
Literally, and it was a neat bridge. So now it's looking a little more touristy than it did. Very cool for Tabitha. Bid inquiry said. Yeah. Thomas is going there at nighttime. I actually camped there once. Says, I'm from Tipton. We all, know all about the case and have been helping Marv on it, but I have to watch what I do on the Tabitha case. That's understandable. That's understandable. Yeah, Thomas is going out there at nighttime. I went out there at nighttime. You can't see anything, so it's very, very dangerous to get out there. No, you can't see anything at nighttime. True Crime Housewife says, I know it's so different. Yes, you were right about the history. Randy says, now they have cameras at the bridge.
Really?
Okay, we have the walk. There we go. See, I have been wondering about that for some time. When they came out and said they were putting cameras in, I thought, great. But then they only put cameras in at the parking area. And I thought, well, they didn't even put a camera in where Abby and Libby were dropped off or
in the actual parking lot.
Yeah, there's the issue. There's where the cameras need to be. And if they're putting them there now, Randy, more power to them, man. I'm glad. I'm finally seeing some progress happen after 6 years, like real progress.
I mean, I know that they had to fix the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Especially with Richard Allen's arrest and the trial looming and everything. They're not going to be able to take jurors out there the way it was.
Right.
But you're right. It looks like it's lost that nostalgia.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, because I used to go out there and just sit there, by myself. When I was go out there and film, I'd sit down by myself right on the platform, right in the middle, feet hanging off the edge, looking 70 feet down to the water, just sitting there, and you could not hear a soul. It's just quiet, and it was more peaceful then, I think. Randy says, but no police call boxes. Okay. And they did promise that quite a while ago, no police call boxes. Or they did say that they were going to put them in within a couple of weeks after starting it. Never did. Why would they bring the jurors out there? Because the jurors need to understand the crime scene. They need to go see it. It's one thing for us to show you on a map right here or to show you in a video format. Once you go there and you walk down that hill and you go down and you see now you're on the private drive and you got to go down another hill and then across water and then up, they need to see that. You need to understand the crime scene if you're going to make a judgment of whether someone's guilty of a crime or not.
Those 2 hills almost killed me that day.
They're bad. They're steep. They're harder than what people think they are.
I slid down the second one on my butt.
Yeah, it's that steep. You will fall. Every time I went down it, I had people film me. Mike Duffy had him film me going down the hill, the second hill. You slip and fall every time. I mean, you end up on your ass. It's guaranteed.
There's no way around it.
No way. Yep. And so there is a possible reason that maybe a shoe was found on that side of the creek because go down this, they're falling, he's falling, let's run or something. And then there's a fight that happens. That's a guess. That's not, I mean, there's a reason that shoe was found on this side of the creek.
Right.
Let's see. He had to use Randy's walker. Almost killed Frank.
So when we went to the site where the girls were found, Frank overheated and had to use Randy's walker to get back to the parking lot.
Oh man, I could see it because it's hot. Yeah. It's hot out there and
it's steep.
It's really steep and there's a lot of it's a lot of terrain. I mean, you're just going up and down. It says, agreed. You don't really know how cornered Abby and Libby felt until you see the south side. And now the south side is cut off. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Getting across, that's very important. I tell everybody that. When they go see the crime scene, I'm like, man, you really need to go over this bridge and you need to go to the other side. You need to take a look at that. Just from your perspective, if you really want to understand it. And most people are like, I'm a little nervous to get across that bridge. But then eventually, once you do it and you try it, you start to understand, I think, more. Did it change your mind on anything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so going across that bridge and then going down the path where we think they went, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I can see somebody sliding down on their butt, and then you get to the private drive, and I kept walking along the private drive going, how am I going to get down here? What is the easiest? Because it was steep no matter where you went.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was steep. And so we found a little section and with a little path, and we thought, oh, this is going to be good. Wrong. Got halfway down it and then slid all the way down. And then walked across, walked over to the opening, and it was muddy there. No wonder why a shoe would come off.
Yep.
And looking across and seeing and the water was moving.
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving faster than what you think.
Yes. Yeah. And this was the same time of year, so I'm like, good God, there's a shallow end at the rock bar here, but it's booking along, it's moving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I'm like, I can't see them just going across. They struggled.
Oh yeah. And it gets up to your waist to maybe, depends how little you are, maybe chest deep,
Yeah.
I don't know how tiny Abby was, but I'm sure if I've taken, we took a couple girls out there to walk through that with a guy for a reenactment. And it was every bit up to their, waist area.
Yeah.
So it can get deep, and water moving down, if you're going across it and it's moving sideways, you're losing leverage and you're getting off balance. I get off balance walking through that. You kind of stumble a little bit because the rocks are uneven beneath your feet. They're slippery with moss. It's cold, freezing cold.
Right.
You can't feel your feet when you get out of that thing, even though you're doing just across it. So.
Well, then I know the last time we were there is when I got to go to the site where the girls were found.
Mm-hmm.
And we all walked down, and everybody kind of stopped before we actually got to that site. And that was my first time there. And I walked ahead, and I felt exactly where they were. I felt it. In fact, I told Stacy, I said, Stacy, I'm having trouble walking to this area. I'm having trouble because they're getting stronger and stronger, the feeling of them. And then by the time we got there and I stood in that area, I bawled for like 5 minutes, and I'm glad that everybody just let me be and then came over. But it was so emotional being there.
It is. Your first time when you go down and something like that and you start to see it and you understand, and you kind of played the whole thing out in your head. It's like, man, dude. And I feel so bad that they were there all night and it was right there. It's like, how could they not be found? But I get it. I get why they couldn't be found, everybody.
Yeah.
Someone who's not going to knock anybody for not finding them that night. First off, nobody was looking for two dead girls in the grass.
Right.
You were looking for girls that were alive, and nobody was expecting them to be right there, because if they were right there, they would have said something, right? Is what everybody thinks. True Crime Housewife says you can feel the girls there, but I didn't go to the site.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people say that they can feel the presence. And then you with the butterflies. Remember, we found the butterflies, or the butterflies came out that day.
Yes. I love it. Well, and then the one day when we were there, Randy, are you still in here?
Randy?
The eagles. Was it eagles flying over the bridge? 3 of them?
Maybe I got a video of an eagle in my crime scene video flying over.
I think there was 2 or 3 that were flying over the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they live right there.
So cool.
It is cool. Yeah, you got 3 eagles that just live there, and it is nice. I got a video of one flying overhead when I was in the water over the bridge. It was pretty cool. I put it on my crime scene video where I walked down to the crime scene, same path you took, just to show people around. Video where he said, okay, she already said that. You can feel the girls there. This one time when we felt a cool breeze of air, yes. 4 of us went. It was like 100 outside. I remember that. That was that May, I think it was.
Yes.
Or that was one of those. Man, when was that? That was June. That was the Abby and Libby walk that we had filmed. I still got that, actually. I've got that walk where Ange was interviewed and Ed Bounds was there. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep, that was that one time. I remember that. No hawks. Yep, the 2 eagles that they saw.
Yes.
Yeah, June. There you go. It was June. It was June, Angie. Yep.
Oh, there you go. She remembers everything.
Yep. It was June. It was June. I still got that video up here. I still
Yeah.
got it on my computer. I do have that. Yeah, that was a good time, man. That was back when the bridge was still the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one. So what are you covering next? What's your next video on? Is it?
I am working on the audio for Tabitha.
Okay.
So, this next week I am going to dabble in this Oklahoma case.
Okay.
Because it's a strange one. But I am focused on Tabitha and bringing out more and more of the documents and stuff that we have on that. I think it's important that people hear that. Those
That's
depositions and stuff.
Cool. And you know what? I found something that you could really work. So as far as these AI things, right? There's one called 11 Labs. All right. And it's got the voices that you can use. With one email account, you get 10,000 words.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you need a guy's voice or another woman's voice, you can just go in there and type it in and it'll deduct. And whenever you run another those 10,000 words, just make a new email account and then use it again. It's all I'm doing.
Oh my God. That would be awesome.
It works perfect. You can use the guy's voice, the girl's voice, and that's who will be talking during your video. If you need a person to be that person, you need to portray a guy or a girl. It's perfect. 11 Labs is what it's called. So something to look into. It works perfectly. Let's see.
Carino,
do you still have your walk on your channel? You know what? I think it's in a video. I can upload it separately. The quality is not the same. It's not 1080p. I think it's down to 720 now, but it's a good video. I can upload that to there. She says, yeah, that day was fun.
Yeah. Did I miss
Linda
something?
says, Roxy Wendling says, what? Marv has given my hubby the true crime bug.
Yes. I got him.
It's not hard to do that. I see a lot of that happen out here. Okay, husbands are like, man, why are you guys interested in that? And then all of a sudden they're at the walks too, Yep.
It was funny because I was talking to him about the Oklahoma case and he's like, oh, really? I'll have to look into that. And then he came back and he's like, I think we're going to hear a lot more about this, Marv. And I'm like, I wouldn't doubt it. And then things have just exploded with it. I'm like, see, you were right.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to do Oklahoma. I'm going to focus on Tabitha. And then I got to get together with some of my past law enforcement buddies and ask how to help Carla.
Okay.
Where to go from, where she can go. I mean, that is just ridiculous that they didn't even open a case file for 16 years. They had everything in a box.
That should be able to be reopened but it's not here. You know what I mean?
Right.
That law needs to take effect everywhere.
Right.
And it needs to be amended. It needs to be amended to not just people that are charged, to people where there's no convictions.
Right.
So that's something that needs changed. But hey, I'm gonna have to jump off here. I got a live stream in 3 minutes or so. So
thank you so much for coming and reading comments.
Not a problem. Hit me up anytime. I'll talk to you guys later, and keep it Southern style, y'all. See you later.
Oh, gotta change the screen. There we go. So, let's have a little fun chat. Non-crime related. What is everyone's favorite Disney movie of all time? I'm curious to see what this is. We got about 30 people in here. So I'm curious. Thanks, Vid. just agreed when I asked him how he's been into true crime more since meeting. Oh, yeah. All right. Willy Wonka. Bambi. My ultimate favorite is The Little Mermaid. I don't know why. I just think when I was little, I was thinking it would be cool to live underwater and then meet a prince and come on land and have the best of both worlds. Wizard of Oz. There you go. That was a good one, too. I don't think my kids have seen that one. So many I could never narrow it down. Yeah. Your friend was named Ariel. Yeah, I like the name and the singing and her using the fork to try to brush her hair out. I love that. It just had that humor in it that I loved. Oh, Robin Williams. Who wouldn't love him? I was really looking forward to Mrs. Doubtfire 2 because I heard that they were going to do that. And I'm like, it's about time. And then he passed, and I was so sad. The genie. Yeah. Ratatouille. 101 Dalmatians. Oh my gosh. Yes. Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Yeah. And Cruella. Mary Poppins. That's such a classic. Such a classic. You know, and the kids nowadays, they don't watch those. They're like, what's Mary Poppins? Ah. Hey, Crystal Dawn, we're just having a little fun chat here before we end for tonight. Favorite Disney movie? Oh, yes. You know, and I think the kids would like these things if they would just sit down and watch it. Maybe I'll have to Velcro my kids to the chair and make them watch, like, Mary Poppins and movies like this. But all right, everyone. Lion King. Little Mermaid. Yeah. Little Mermaid is my favorite. Hands down. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know it wasn't a super fun night like I had planned, but with the migraine and not being able to look at the words on the screen very well, we did the best we could. Want to thank Anthony for coming in here and helping read the chat since I was having trouble. All right, I will put in the community tab the schedule for next week. Nothing tomorrow night because I have company coming, but I will make a schedule for next week and put that in the community tab so everybody knows. So thank you all for joining us. Remember, be kind, show some compassion and empathy towards somebody who needs it. Have a great night. Bye.